Hi guys, first of all, I'd like to apologize because I am tired and this video is not going to have any sort of structure to it, I don't think. So I'm just going to start where I feel and end where I feel. So I'm going to start with, if any of you have watched my previous videos, then you know that I'm basically trying to decipher this iPet Goat video along with the hundreds of other YouTubers out there. Um, but basically, I'm just going to focus on this part here, which is where this girl, woman, representation of a virgin, Melania Trump, Ivanka Trump, whoever you think it is, drops this apple. Um, as you'll notice, there's 12 figures around her. Um, I've taken that to mean 12 EU member states and all sorts of things. But I'm focusing on the apple, so let me just go back 1 second. Hopefully I didn't go too back. So, as I mentioned in my other videos, I think the animals and the flowers on the wall representing spring. Whether that's spring in the northern hemisphere or spring in the southern hemisphere, I don't know. But it's interesting when this girl drops the apple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and stops before it reaches the 8th row. So I'm looking at this as in it's an Apple, and we have a company called Apple, and they're due to release their iPhone. An announcement is to be made on the 12th of September, which is a Tuesday. Normally, Apple announce their new phones on a Friday or a Saturday, so this year it's unusual. Um, the reason that there's so many different interpretations, but one of the interpretations I've got here is that this is actually representing the, the Apple launch or the drop of the new Apple phone. Um, it stops before it reaches iPhone 8 or Apple 8 or the eighth roll of the Apple. Um, I don't know what the LC or the 7C or the L moon crescent symbol stands for. That's all still confusing. With the Obama foot, the only thing that I've managed to actually look up is the fact that Obama's foot or feet size is 12, which is, again is represented with the 12 people that were surrounding that girl or woman. Then you've got Obama's foot, which is a size 12, maybe nothing. But then you move on, and outside of the school where Obama is, you've got the clock tower, which is also on 12. Could this be representing September the 12th or the 12th of a particular month? I don't know, but it's an idea. And sorry about all the fingerprints on my screen. I can just see that it's really it's really messed up. Um, Moving on from that, focusing on the fact that I think this could be due with the Apple launch. We've then got Apple closing one of its stores, Simi Valley store, with no replacement store ahead of the iPhone 8 launch, and this is on September the 15th. They'll be closing that store, and there won't be any replacement after that. Um, I don't think I've ever heard of Apple closing a store, so this is unusual. Um, and that store is in, as I said, it's in Simi Valley, which is in Los Angeles. So I looked up Simi Valley on Google Maps to see where it is, and it's because obviously I'm in the UK. I don't live in America, so I don't know where all these places are. But it's on the west coast of America, and just across the water is where all the trouble is happening in North Korea. Now, I watched Fast and Furious 8, another 8 there, and just as it was leading to, sorry, don't open there. Let me just find it again, wherever it may be. There. Okay. So just as it was leading into the scene with the Rock and the his daughter and the children playing football, they've given some coordinates here. Now I looked up those coordinates when the film first launched, and the coordinates I was given by Google Maps was, get back to this, was actually, get back over here, was actually here, out in the middle of the, well, not the middle, but off the west coast of America on the North Pacific Ocean. Later on, when I actually researched those coordinates, I was taken into Los Angeles, which is, oh, I can't remember exactly where it was. It was in one of those entertainment parks. I'm gonna have to find it. But basically, when I originally looked up those coordinates from the Fast and Furious 8, well, the Furious 8 film, it took me out here somewhere, just off the coast of California. And looking at the iPet Goat video where the man or woman plunges themselves into the ocean off of that little iceberg thing, I think that represents one of these islands along here, Hawaii, Hilo, Honolulu, one of those islands, um, where maybe something happens there as well, or possibly tsunami, something like that, come along their way. But I thought it was strange that when I first researched the coordinates, which I'll show you again, when I first researched those coordinates, it took me out on into the North Pacific Ocean off the coast of California. Um, and then when I later researched it, it took me in to California, Los Angeles specifically. So going back to there, I figured Los Angeles has got some problems at the moment. Um, Specifically wildfire, the biggest in the city's history. Which wildfires aren't a new thing for LA, but this is the biggest wildfire, and it comes off the back of Hurricane Harvey and precedes Hurricane Irma. So I really feel like the combined disasters card is being played here. If you don't know about the Illuminati card game, you can research it. But basically, this is the image for the combined disasters card, and whether they're actually playing that now with Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Irma, the wildfires, and obviously North Korea as well. I'm not sure what's to come, but staying on the focus of LA and the combined disasters card, it led me to the farmers market, which kind of has an eerie familiarity with the iPet Goat video, although it's not exactly the same as the image in the iPet Goat video. It does have the American flag and it does have the clock tower. Um, when I scrolled through the images of the clock tower, I kind of stopped here, and that kind of made me think of the scene that is depicted in the card, which is there. So, clock tower in the background, falling over, people running down a street, and I just put that imagery here and kind of thought it kind of looks similar. I don't know, again, could be just nothing, could be everything. But this was published in July, and Los Angeles preparing for a nuke strike from North Korea. There's not many states in America that have actually taken the steps, even though there's been a lot of rhetoric about North Korea and America going to war. There's not many states that have actually taken preparations to prepare. One of those states is Hawaii, which we've already mentioned, and another one is Los Angeles. I don't know of any others. There probably are, but not that they've made the mainstream news lately. Moving on from that, when I looked at the map of America and thinking the coordinates that led me to around here, I then researched submarines, because obviously if it's in the ocean, it's not going to be. It could be an aircraft carrier, but that would most likely be blown out the water and detected. Whereas a North Korean submarine, which could have had its noise covered by Hurricane Harvey or uh, even Hurricane Irma, if a lot of concentrations on that, then people might be slacking off a little bit on the west coast of America, since everything seems to be happening on the east coast of America. Um, but basically, North Korea has submarine activity, and it's highly unusual. Although North Korea have launched submarines before and blah blah blah, this time it's highly unusual and at unprecedented levels. Um, Basically, they've been practicing cold ejection tests from a sub, which is basically just shooting out a missile from a sub, practicing on how to do that. Cold ejection involves the use of pressurized gas to expel a missile from the launch tube before ignition to reduce the risk of catastrophic damage to the vehicle or to the vessel. Um, Looking down here, you can see that North Korea also engaged in unusual deployment activity earlier this month, with a Romeo class submarine patrolling 100 kilometers out to sea off the coast of Japan, much further than usual. Now, I don't know exactly what 100 kilometers would look like on this map, but I'm assuming that off the coast of Japan would put it around this kind of region. Um, Now that was detected, so it's highly doubtful that it would actually make it across there without being destroyed by an American vessel or an allies vessel. But the fact that they are roaming further out than they have before, just a little bit further, and they could be in the area that I'm talking about. Again, I really don't know, but there's a lot more that I'm researching, and it's all a little bit much. So the fact that there's other YouTubers out there making videos on different aspects of what they think as well, it's interesting to kind of put it all together and see if any of the pieces fit together. But 100%, you know, some people don't believe, but I do believe that um, weather warfare is possible. It's well researched. We know that they can seed clouds to produce rain. They did it in the Vietnam War. They do it in Britain all the time. So I was so freaking gloomy. Um, but it also serves obviously not just to produce rainfall, but also to produce cloud cover. With the surveillance that goes on in the world today, having cloud cover to prevent images from satellites being taken of your country or your nuclear sites or things like that is beneficial. But yeah, my warning or my thoughts, maybe not a warning. I don't know when it's going to happen, but September the 12th seems an ominous date. September the 15th also an ominous date, and September the 23rd um, is also anonymous. Anonymous. Forget the word. It's a strange date. So um, one more thing I want to say before this video ends is that I feel like the the LOL in the iPad Goat video with Obama. Don't know if I can actually find it quickly while I'm talking. Um, I feel like that part is actually not an LOL, but a 101 or a 1001 or yeah, that that there. It could be October the 1st. Whatever's to happen or to be happening could be by October the 1st. September is certainly a month with a lot going on in it, astrologically, uh, environmentally, economy. Um, Everything seems to be happening at the moment. So just keep your eyes open. do your own research as well. Post your videos. We all need to kind of come together and try and figure this out, especially if it is something that's pointing towards the destruction or annihilation of thousands and millions of people. We can't sit back and just let it happen. Even if we can't do anything physically, we can get the word out to people to let them know that this wasn't random, this wasn't coincidence, this was something that was planned and displayed before us. So that's it.